Hey, what's up? Today I wanted to make a video and share how you can create a t-shirt design and publish it to merch by Amazon or other print-on-demand platforms, but using only free and open source softwares. And so I'm going to do this starting from absolutely zero, and I'm finally going to upload it to merch by Amazon. And so if you're some sort of designer, or if you're running a print-on-demand business, or if you're simply interested with free and open source softwares, then this could be for you. So let's go right in. Alright, so before we start anything, I simply wanted to talk about the tools that I'm going to use today. And so the first tool that I'm going to use today is GPT for All. And so basically GPT for All is some sort of alternative to ChatGPT from OpenAI, but in this case the difference is that it is actually running from your own computer, and so it is free and open source. And so in my case here, I'll be using the AI model that is called Mistral Instruct, and so that's just the model I'm trying right now. And then the second tool that I'll be using is Automatic 1111 to generate and create AI images. And so in this case here, it is also running from your own computer using your own GPU. And so I think that's pretty interesting. And so in this case, I'll be using the AI model that is called OpenDAL, which is kind of an alternative to DALL-E 3, but it is from the free and open source community from DataVoid on this Civit AI website. And then another tool that I'm going to use is Inkscape to create my design, my t-shirt design in the right format. And so the right format for a t-shirt is 4500 by 5400 pixels. And so that allows us to create a vector image. Also, another tool that I'm going to use from Inkscape is the trace bitmap in order to transform some sort of JPEG and the AI image into a vector image. And so lastly, it's kind of optional, but I'm also going to use Productor, which is the Chrome extension that I use to automate my uploads on merch by Amazon. So in this case, I'm not sure if it's open source, but it is free to use, and so there's no plan, it's completely free to use. All right, so the first step now is about ideas and the AI prompt. And so since we are starting from scratch, we will first generate some idea that we want to create a design about. And so in this case, I'm going to use AI, and I'm going to specifically use GPT for All. And so as I'm recording this, it is Mother's Day that is coming next month. And so I'll make a design about that. But when you're watching this video, then you can make a design about the niche that you want. And so to generate ideas, what I'm going to use here as a prompt is give me 10 simple design ideas for a t-shirt graphic design without text. I'm going to specify without text because sometimes I have issue with anything related to text. So I'm going to specify without text. And here I'm going to specify, make it about Mother's Day. So I'm going to generate that. Okay, so now GPT for All was able to generate a bunch of ideas, t-shirt design ideas about Mother's Day. And so in this case here, I think I kind of like the first one here that says a heart shape with the words mom written inside a cursive script. There's a text here, but the text is simply mom, and so I think the AI is going to be able to generate that properly. And so I'm going to use the first one because it's quite simple and it is a heart shape, but I'm also going to add a flower to it. So I'm going to specify here a heart shape inside a flower with the word mom written inside in a recursive script. So I'm going to use the first one here. So now the second step is to actually generate the AI image. And so now that we have the idea for our t-shirt design, now we're going to use Stable Diffusion and Automatic 1111 to actually generate the design and generate the image. And so here I'm simply going to take the idea that I just took earlier, and so I'm going to specify here inside the prompt that I want the heart shape inside the flower with the word mom written inside in the cursive script. And I'm going to specify a simple black design with a white background, and I also want a vector image because it's just easier to work with. And so here I have 60 as my sampling step. I use these settings here, and so let's just generate. Alright, so here we got our image here, and I actually had to generate it a few times, and so in order to get a proper result. And so I kind of like this one here. It's kind of it says mom, but there's a heart here in the middle that serves as the O, and there are some sort of doodles or some sort of flowers or whatever around the heart here. So I kind of like that, so I'm gonna use this one here. And so I'm simply going to take this image, and so what you can do is that you can open the folder here, and then you have all the results for your images. And so now what we're going to do is that we're going to drag the result inside Inkscape. And so there you go. I'm going to embed this. Now the third step is that now that we have our image, now we want to turn it into a vector and correct the mistakes and just make it beautiful for us. And so in this case, I'm going to use Inkscape and the trace bitmap feature from software in order to transform the JPEG into a vector file. And so now that we have our image inside Inkscape, what we can do here is simply make sure that the trace bitmap feature is open. And so I have it right here. And so now what I usually do is that I select colors, because in this case there are many colors, and so you might have to play a little bit with it in order to find the right number of colors or whatever. And so here I'm choosing 4 colors, and I'm also removing the background and also a bunch of default settings. And so here I'm simply going to hit apply. And so here I kind of like this result. It's not exactly perfect, but I can change it to my liking here. And so I'm simply going to delete our original image. So now that we have our vector image, the fourth step is now to create the t-shirt design. And so what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to select the vector image, and I'm going to make sure to ungroup everything. And I'm also going to make sure to break everything apart, because then it is then easier to play with the vectors and the different elements. And so as you can see, it created a bunch of elements that I can now change and modify individually. So now the first thing that I'm going to do is remove all the excess. And so here we find this thing. I don't like this little spot here, so I'm going to remove it. So then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make all these things, I'm going to make them black. And so I'm going to put that black. I'm going to put that black as well. And I'm going to put this thing in the bottom. I'm going to put that black. So there you go. I'm going to put this thing black as well. I'm also going to turn the gray thing black as well. Turn that black too. This one too. So here I don't really like this black spot in the middle. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take this red from this heart here, and I'm going to take the RGBA, and I'm also going to apply it to this little spot here. So there you go. Another thing that I don't like about this design also is the red is kind of weird. It goes up there, and it also goes here down there. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to change the point in order to hide the red here. It's kind of probably not the best solution, but that's going to work in our case. So I'm going to change the point so that it hides the red here. And then by doing that, it also hides the top. I'm also going to hide the top as well, just like that, so that it's a little bit cleaner. And so here, finally at the right here, I don't like this spot as well, so I'm also going to do the same thing. Kind of cheesy, but that's gonna work. So now that we have our image, the only thing that I'm going to do is that I'm gonna make sure to select everything, and then I'm gonna group everything so that now I can easily make it good on my Canva. Just like that. I'm gonna align it to the middle like this. And there you go, now we have the design. And so now that we have our design, what we can do is simply export the project and the design. And so in my case, I'm going to call it Mom Black. Just make sure that it has the right image size. So I'm gonna call it Mom Black. So export that. And so now that we have this black design here, what we can do is simply create another version but for a white design. So what you can do is simply select same fill color, and it's gonna select everything that is black, and then you can put it to white. And so there you go. Now you simply have another version of the same design. And so instead of call it Mom Black, I'm gonna call it Mom White, and I'm going to export that. So that way we actually have two designs. So there's Mom Black and also Mom White. And so the idea here is that we put Mom Black on white t-shirts, and then Mom White, we put it on black t-shirts. So that finally leads us to the final step, which is publishing our design. And so in my case, I'm going to publish the designs on Merch by Amazon. And so what you can do is simply go on the create page. And so here, I'm going to have two windows here since we have two designs. And so what I usually do like this is that I simply put the windows side to side like this, so that we can simply take our design and simply put this one on the left, and then this one here, you put it on the right. And so now what we can do is that we can select, in this case, I'm using Productor. So what this is doing right here is that I have a template that puts my designs on all the light products. So I can simply do that. And so on the right here, I'm basically going to do the same thing, but since this is a white design, I'm gonna put it on dark colors. And so I can simply do that. And then Productor is going to do its thing and do everything automatically. And so now that the upload automation has worked, we can simply make sure that the design is properly placed on the product. So usually I simply check the pop socket grips. And so there you go. I put it like this. And then here also place them as well. Gonna put it in the middle. Okay, so there we go. Everything is placed properly. So now there's a last thing that we can do here, and usually I use Podly to generate my text for my listing. But in this case, since I want to do this everything free and open source, I'm going to come back to GPT for all. And so here I have GPT for all. And so what I'm going to do here is that I have a command here that you can use that basically creates a bunch of things for your listing. And so what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to create a title. I'm going to create also two descriptions for Amazon, and then I'm also going to generate a bunch of tags and keywords. And so if you're uploading this on Redbubble or maybe TeePublic or other marketplaces like this, then you can use these keywords. And so here I'm going to use this command, this prompt here, and then the only thing that I'm going to do here is that I'm going to enter the image prompt that I used earlier. I'm simply going to put it right here. And so basically what it's going to do is that I'm going to ask it to generate a bunch of information about the t-shirt designs, about the command that I used earlier. And then you can simply hit enter, and then it's going to generate a bunch of things. And so here the title, you could use this title here, And then the description on Amazon, you can simply use the description, and so you can simply copy paste everything. You can obviously change it to your liking, and so you can put the bullet points. Okay, and so then the product description, you can simply put both of them. Okay, and then the brand, I'm actually going to put the title also, and I'm gonna change it to include Mother's Day love heart. There you go. And then you can simply copy everything on the other one. And so that's pretty much it. You just make sure that your descriptions are good. I just noticed a bunch of mistakes here. So there you go. And so here I'm actually not going to upload them because I actually hit my daily limit. But you could upload this on Merch by Amazon, and you also have a bunch of keywords and tags, and so you could also use that if you're uploading this on Redbubble or other platforms. And so that's pretty much it. So in conclusion, I think that it is very possible to use free and open source softwares to create print-on-demand products or listings or even descriptions. And what I particularly love about this method that I showed here is that everything is generated privately with your own computer and with your own hardware. And so you're not using some sort of online services, you're not paying some sort of monthly subscription. Everything here is free and open source. And so here, all the ideas and all the descriptions that I use were all generated with GPT-4All, using my own hardware with my own GPU and my own CPU. And also the AI image that I created was generated with my own computer as well, with my own GPU. And so I think that it is pretty cool that I'm able to use my own resources, my own computer, and everything privately to do my work. That being said, I think yes, it is pretty cool, but ultimately I think that gives me more challenges in the way that I have to use my own hardware, I have to make sure that I have the right equipment, that I have the right computer, but also that I have to use them properly. And so, for example, when I used Automatic 1111 and GPT-4All, I cannot use them in the same time because my GPU doesn't have enough VRAM to run both of them at the same time. And so what you might want to do is that you might want to have a better GPU with more VRAM, or you might want to run them individually, separately, and so you might have to close a software in order to open the new one, and then close the software to open the other one. And so that's something to be aware of. And also, if you're going to create your own AI image with your own GPU, you might want to use the right models for you. And so in this case, I kind of created a vector illustration with some text on it. And I think that the image was not necessarily the best image that I could create. And so just make sure that you have the best image possible. And so maybe the problem was with the vectorizer in Inkscape. I just think that the design could have been better. And so that's pretty much it for this video, and I hope that this video was helpful to you. And if this video was valuable to you, you could consider liking my video and subscribing to my channel. And if you have any question, you can leave a comment below, because I will answer to everything, and your thoughts and comments could also be valuable to other people. So that's it for this video, okay? Peace.